This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. As the days get shorter and colder, it can really take a toll on how we feel. Maybe that means calling your grandma, writing a letter to your friend, finally grabbing lunch with someone you haven't seen in a while. And just like reaching out to a friend, starting therapy can take a bit of courage. BetterHelp makes it easy to start therapy. You'll be matched with a licensed therapist based on your needs and preferences so you can focus on your growth and goals. Not happy with your match? You can switch therapists anytime with no hassle. This month, don't wait to reach out, whether that's checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself. BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. And our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/PFF. That's betterhelp.com/PFF.
Ravens, Vikings. Ravens win this game, 27-19. Top 5 graded players that we have for the Baltimore Ravens. Safety Malachi Starks, another big interception in this game. So he earns an elite 91.0. Defensive tackle Travis Jones, an 82.9. Linebacker Teddy Buchanan with the 77.7. Wide receiver Zay Flowers, a 76.1. Safety Kyle Hamilton, a 75.1. And then Lamar Jackson, a 70.2. On Minnesota's side of things, what a game for Jalen Nailor. The top of the list, an 87.5. He was on the receiving end of basically every big J.J. McCarthy pass that he had this past game. Edge rusher Jalen Redmond is 74.5. Edge rusher Dallas Turner is 71.0. Defensive tackle Javon Hargrave is 69.8. And then linebacker Blake Cashman rounded things out with a 68.7. J.J. McCarthy in this game, a 53.4. I think a lot of people might just remember the lowlights of this performance against the Ravens and say, well, hold on, how's he at a 53.4? And JJ still had 4 big-time throws in this game, so that's how we got to that point. He had 3 turnover-worthy plays, and the completion percentage was way below what you wanted to. I think it was below 50% on this game. So a throw-by-throw basis, which I'll get to in a second, obviously not ideal, but he did still have the 4 big-time throws in this game, so it's not like he didn't have any good plays here. But what was your stat that told the story independent?
And he was good early. I really have 2 things here. Number 1, turnover battle. You win the turnover battle 3-0 like the Ravens did here. You're going to win a ball game.
Yeah, you're going to win the game.
8-point game, 13 points off of turnovers for Baltimore. That's really the big difference in the game for me. The 2 deep interceptions, both of them on 3rd down for McCarthy. I thought one of them was just a really unnecessary play call on 3rd and 1, dialing up a play-action deep shot to Justin Jefferson. That's the other thing, too, to me, is my most disappointing, I'm going to throw in here, is Kevin O'Connell with the play calling in this one. J.J. McCarthy should not be dropping back 47 times in a game. It's just not. It should not happen now.
Well, they don't have the run game that they want.
Well, the run game was decent in this one. When you look at the limited sample.
Was it dynamic, though? Because that's what I think that they try to avoid.
The 2 backs had 13 carries for 72 yards. I could live with that.
Okay. All right. That's better than I remember.
It just never felt like, because O'Connell just never let it get in a rhythm. It was just, he just never, this team needs to run the football. And their offensive line, other than, I think, did Ryan Kelly play in this game? I mean, it's 4 out of the 5 guys are healthy. Kelly's still out. But, you're looking at 4 of the 5 guys are healthy. And this was a refusal to run the football. And in a close game now, so you're going to, okay, so I'm sitting here going, hey, he called pass plays 80% of the time. Now, some would go, okay, they were behind late and this and that, it can tilt the numbers. If I take out the 4th quarter, still a 72% pass rate. That's too much pressure. We can talk about the grades and McCarthy hitting some throws and missing some others and all of that, but you got to commit to the run game here. And I know the Ravens have been better against the run lately because Kyle Hamilton moving down in the box and all of that, but you're not going to win a ball game where you're calling 47 to 50 plays for J.J. McCarthy to throw the football. He never did that. First of all, he never did that in Michigan.
Right.
Wasn't even a thing then.
No, I know.
And now that's not going to be in his best interest. He got off to a good start in this game. He did.
First quarter was nice.
It was. But you just can't, especially in a close game like this, put him in a spot where he can turn the football over. Like 3rd and 1, right, in the 3rd quarter. Run the ball. Just run the football. There's no reason to take a shot right there and put McCarthy in a bad spot. I don't know if somebody on the left side didn't know if he had a route or didn't know what the play was, but it looked like Jefferson to the deep post was the only route being run at all. And I assume it was supposed to be probably across or underneath it like there usually is with O'Connell. But I still just think it puts McCarthy in a bad spot to have him drop back 47 times in a game that was relatively close also.
Yeah, I think his accuracy to me was just the stat that told the story because you have the 4 big-time throws, you have the 3 turnover-worthy plays, you have the overall completion percentage numbers. But specifically, we've got some more advanced charting. accuracy percentage, which is true. Like it's true. Like, okay, was this the right ball placement? That's what we're judging here. And the accuracy percentage for JJ McCarthy in this game was just a 46.9. I mean, that's one of the lower marks that we've got around the league. And then uncatchable pass percentages. So not just that not just that the ball's a little bit off target here. We're talking about an uncatchable throw that you made. 31.3%. I believe that was the highest percentage of uncatchable passes that any quarterback had outside of, I think Bryce Young might have had higher in this one. And then Bo Nix, I think actually on Thursday night. Those two guys might have had higher. But other than that, I mean.
Michael Penix.
Oh, it was Penix.
JJ McCarthy.
Oh, was Penix the only guy who was.
Higher uncatchable is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy.
What was Nick's?
He was 30. I got him at
32%
here.
Okay, maybe I had. I didn't toggle.
One of the filters or something. I mean, it's a percentage. But either way, you're talking about.
Same conversation. One of the lowest in the league this week.
Funny that the top four I have here are all last year's rookies: Penix, McCarthy, May, Nix. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just for this week. Just for this week, right?
Yeah. Anyways, McCarthy was not accurate enough to win the football game today. He had some big-time throws, but you have to be more consistent. I think the lack of explosives and the lack of big-time throws was not the issue this week for McCarthy. It was simply the throw-by-throw. You need to be more accurate. You need to be more on time. You need to keep the offense going. And he dropped back a lot. And like you said, I think that was too much to be able to put on his plate. And he was not able to deliver. My most impressive was Jalen Naylor. I mentioned it, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 124 passing yards, and 1 touchdown. I have 2 things for most disappointing. One, the Vikings' false starts. They had 8 false starts in this game. Dalton, they were at home. They had 8 false starts at home. 3 of them were on Brian O'Neill. Now, I read afterwards that one of the reporters, somebody was saying that the Ravens were strategically yelling out defensive line adjustments at around the time when McCarthy would be yelling set hut. And there is something in the rule book that you can't purposefully deceive that way, to sort of make it sound like you are the one who is simulating the snap count. But you as a defense are still allowed to make calls. You're still allowed to yell rotation or whatever. And as an offense, especially when you're at home, like, you should be able to distinguish at least less than 8 times. 8 times is crazy. That was the most false starts at home in over 15 years.
In total, they had 13 penalties for over 100 yards. I mean, just another issue. That's hard to win games with 100 penalty yards in general.
8
but you're right.
Starts.
8
of them being false starts. That's crazy to me. The other most disappointing for me was Justin Jefferson's body language. I'm not in the business of looking too much into it, but when JJ would throw a deep interception, there were, I think on 2 of the ones that I remember off the top of my head, Justin just stops playing. Very clearly, he's the closest guy to the ball as well. And he just does not care. He just starts walking. Really, starts walking off the field. So, clearly he's not happy. Not happy with whatever the play call was, not happy with the execution. I don't know if it means that he's overall very unhappy with J.J. McCarthy as a whole, but he made it very obvious yesterday that he was not happy about what was going on, especially after some of those interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, and it's tough for a team that won 14 games last year. Now they're 4-5 with a tough second half coming. You've got to play the Packers twice. You got to play the Lions again. You got to play Seattle, right? I mean, you're talking about a team that needs to get it together, but the NFC is loaded right now. It's loaded when it comes to these standings, and the Vikings have a long way to claw back. They're not used to losing in this manner. They didn't do this last year. They were 14-3 last year, right? And they made the postseason. They were so good and everything. So I think the frustration probably is setting in because the offense, it's even been frustrating to watch all year between the injuries and the lack of consistent running game. In this game, they just kind of got away from it. And then obviously the balance of trying to win and bring McCarthy along in essentially his rookie season, it's a lot to deal with there. So, I do get it. They have to find a way to just keep battling through it, and they're 4-5 and you still have a shot. But no, it's getting harder every single week you lose a game like this.
Most impressive or most disappointing, anything that you didn't hit before we move on?
I'm just going to go back again to these Ravens safeties. They just keep doing it. I mean, mean, I should just start calling Kyle Hamilton a linebacker at this point. This week he makes the impact as a pass rusher, 3 pressures, 2 batted passes at the line of scrimmage, and then you mentioned it, Malachi Starks, 2 weeks in a row with an interception, 2 weeks in a row with a PFF grade in the 90s. This role that these guys have found themselves in since Alohi Gilman came over from the Chargers in that trade, they're really driving the defensive resurgence for the Ravens right now.
All right.